I did want to discuss this as part of the topics, is that the emergence of AI marketers actually like individuals who are either selling products or acting as influencers, helping brands with their marketing, showing, creating content which is basically scripted and AI characters giving it. Those sort of
Yeah,
human cues, I
interesting.
guess, for me, it's a little. I'd love to get your take on how you feel about that, because what you're talking about the
Yeah.
human side of marketing and how you've taken the human skills you've built into your roles. How do you feel now that they're like,
I don't think I mentioned that I'm a bit of a tech nerd as well.
okay,
So that is also a thread running through. I've always worked close to tech. So the
okay,
finance thing was probably the little digression I had in the tech career.
okay, cool,
But I also grew up with computers, which other people didn't.
okay,
On my street, so I was like one of the ones that had a computer because my mum was a midwife but also wrote books.
oh wow. So what?
Yeah, so like copywriting
As
and
soon as you said that, I thought of that. Not Agatha Christie. Do you know
Typewriter.
the typewriter where you slide it across?
yeah. So we no. We started and then we always had computers. I'm
Okay.
dyslexic, so I had the advantage of being at school and having computers and
Okay.
understanding that. So I've always tech kind of leveled the playing field for me. Yeah, but with AI, I'm just like a puppy. I'm like so excited to try things and do things,
Fair
but
enough.
I'm also like I wouldn't want to put it out there unless it kind of hit at the same level and standard that something else like a creative team could create themselves or a
Yeah.
copywriter who really understands the industry could create. And we're not there yet with AI. Could be getting there, but
Yeah.
in terms of like helping us find the guide rails, like doing the data piece, all of that, what everyone says about AI, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I think the AI search stuff's the most exciting for all businesses, any business, to make sure you're showing up in AI search.
It's I have I've got a page of notes here which I've got a, I don't know, with
Your
this,
thoughts
with
on
your
that?
point on AI videos and photos. The one thing that I see happening now, there's this, I was reading about it earlier, it's about the dead internet. So essentially what's happening is people and creators, we've been pushed towards gaming the algorithm. That's how you get the views, right? It's like the algorithm rewards consistency,
Yeah.
output, and appearing on your feed as much as possible. So everyone is now, even if you're human, you're using a bit of AI to work on your content, and I'm not against that whatsoever. It's speed. It's great. It helps everyone. But at the same time, if humans are already putting that out there, AI generated stuff,
Yeah.
there's already like you said, these influencers who Meta kind of like put out there 2 weeks ago
Yeah.
and then retracted it straight away because everyone's like, why am I seeing profiles of like these AI bots selling products on
Yeah.
Instagram?
Yeah.
So they withdrew it, but it's already there. You see what I mean? Like there's
Yeah.
already this space of AI which is already within the net. And I know it's a very old way to say it, but we see the
Yeah.
internet as something else. Whereas I think Gen Z are like, oh, it's just our life. We see
Yeah.
that, we see it as like a different space almost. So I'm a bit like concerned about how things are working now, because I think they said like 55% of ad traffic now is bots.
Can I bring you up a level low on that?
Let's go.
So the level you're at is we're doing marketing how we're doing marketing and AI will help us. I think what AI is going to do is you won't be doing marketing
Yeah.
really like we do it now. There won't need to be an algorithm, there won't need to be that because the information's already there. It will be based, like the AI will be looking for authenticity, as will people. So like Currys have done most amazing branding and
Yeah.
Camp UGC content right now.
Yeah.
And they're kind of breaking through because it's authentic, but also AI is looking for that stuff. It's looking for the reviews, the things that it can validate, the third parties that can say this is independent and we agree with it, and that's the stuff it's feeding into the results.
Yeah.
So it's almost like you just have to do a good product and have good reviews, and your customers have to be happy, and then AI can take on the rest and recommend you to other people.
You
Great.
see, but the thing about that I have an issue is, and I was having this conversation the other day because I just went abroad for my birthday and we were looking at restaurants to go to, and we've now become such a culture of numbers in the sense that like, okay, cool, I won't go into a place if it's got a 1-star review on everything, but then that
Yeah.
is considering that everybody reviews, but not everybody reviews. There's a million people that go to a restaurant and don't review, and it could be a small amount of people that go there, have a bad experience, and then give that. And my thing is, I don't think we're at this stage where the habits that we need to have as humans to be able to fuel AI being across the board are there yet. Maybe it might happen where everyone becomes like, it's a standard thing. As you walk out the door, there's a review thing that you have to press as part of your bill. But if AI is going to be responsible for marketing and looking at kind of trusted sources and looking at third-party reviews to understand, oh, this is a good product to put in front of someone, I just don't think we're providing enough.
But is that the marketeer's job to then figure that out, and the people that will win will be the ones that do get that piece?
Yeah, I just don't know how many things a human's going to have to do in their everyday to be able to keep up a society that's based on machines learning.
But that's why memberships and connections and meeting people in person.
It's pivoting. We're already seeing that, but there's a interaction. Like I was looking at some product today on Zoom. So like I had an issue with trying to get like the attendance report for one of the meetings I had. And I didn't realize I was chatting to the AI when I was asking the help thing. That's how, that's, for me, that was like a bit of a shock. I was like, shit, like this thing is, but it didn't solve the problem, by the way.
Okay.
It still then said, oh, I can't solve the problem, so I'm sending you to the chat agent. I was just like,
to a human.
So I thought I was chatting to someone this whole time. Yeah, that's what I think there's a point where we just have to understand. I feel things are going to change drastically especially now with this whole meta thing that's happening, TikTok getting banned, whatever we think is that social media space of how we reach our customers, I think there's a massive disruption that's like literally on the cusp of happening, especially with this, so Blue Sky and how they've kind of like grown and their whole platform is built off decentralized social media, right? Like you want to call it blockchain, but it's not really. But it's decentralized, and I think that's allowing people now. I think people are just fed up of being at the mercy of 2 or 3 channels and being like, that's all I can do. And I think this is helping people now open their mind to be like, actually, I want to bring community into it. I want to create my own space. And now you can use like AT protocol and what Blue Sky is built on. I'll create my own platform and get my customers on there and just be like, that's my social media, right? That's your community that you want to work on. And I think there's that's what I can see in 2025 happening, where I think politically it's getting a bit too much. You know, people are being fed up of what they're being fed. So yeah, that's just my prediction. It's doom and gloom, but not really. It's exciting as well.
I mean, the fact that Meta introduced AI profiles, it's going to happen, even though they retracted it.
Yeah,
they just put it out there. They're going to refine it a little bit, refine the message, and put it back out there. We're going to be at the mercy of changes, and people are going to adapt to stuff. I'm just wary that all this stuff, like for example, when you're looking at a product review and it's an AI bot that's doing it. Yes, fair enough. A marketer could write the same piece of copy or something like that, but the fact that I'm so wanting to preserve the human connection, the human review, the human.
Well, okay, so think about it like this. Yeah. You like music. You can go to a gig in person. You can be in a crowd, or you could listen to it on your like headphones in the kitchen by yourself. And like it's 2 very different experiences. And brands have got to connect in that emotional, human way, which we can't quite put our finger on what it is. Yeah. But you're not going to get it by just having something that's digital or just online or just on a screen. Yeah. And then you've also got just different audiences. I think because we're around London and we're around our generation, hoteliers are so different. And where the company that I'm in now, where some of them don't have time to look at their phone. They don't know where their phone is. They're busy dealing with guests. They're busy actually on the floor dealing with problems in real time. Yeah. They have one email that all the staff can log into if they need to do something urgent, but otherwise they're using potentially a system to talk to guests, but that's it. Yeah. And there's so much opportunity in spaces like that where people don't use tech for brands to go in and figure out what does that look like if they're not into AI. What if all the internet goes down? What do we do?
That's the key point.
Send some pigeons.
Yes. basically it's
There's
that.
Still got
something,
loads.
yeah.
Still got loads of pigeons. The reason we've got pigeons in London was because they were the
Carrier
form of
pigeons for the
communica-
messages.
Yeah, that was the
Fair
communication
enough.
channel.
I never knew that.
That's why we've got pigeons. Yeah,
Oh.
they used to be revered. That was our communication channel.
Oh, wow.
Then it became post. Then it became email. Now it's like everything.
No, they just eat bread.
Yeah, and people don't like them, and I'm like, come on, respect the pigeons.
The first internet, basically.
Yeah.
First internet.
Yeah.
Back in the day, basically.
I didn't think I'd be saying that.
About a pigeon. But like for me, I think like you said, the community thing, to wrap it up in that sense, I think this year there's going to be a conscious move for people to go to a single source of truth almost. So it's like
Claude.
yeah, like apart from AI. If I will say Claude is better than ChatGPT, I will just say that. Like,
Do you know what? I haven't tried. So.
I don't know.
in terms of writing, in terms of like personality and picking up your tone, yes.
My founder was banging on about it the other day.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah, on all hands, in fact. Yeah, the whole company was listening to him talking about how it's his therapist
Yeah.
and he bounces ideas off it at night.
That is so good to understand, actually, because a lot of businesses have different stances on the use of AI. Because we're not at the stage where it's kind of commonplace. It's like it's interesting to hear your founder. Is that so?
Yeah.
Is your company open to using it? Does it encourage
Yes.
staff to use it to kind of make their jobs easier?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, if you're not, I think there'd be a question mark. Why
Yeah.
aren't you? But
Wow.
like, education about proprietary product information
Yeah.
and what you're putting out there
Yeah.
is the education piece. But otherwise, yeah.
It's just fair
If
enough.
you're not using it, then you ask for another headcount. Why are you asking for another headcount if you've not got your tools and processes sorted first?
Yeah.
It's like marketing should be collaboration. You've then got tools, processes, and strategy. If those aren't working in harmony, then you're like, I want to add 40 headcount to my 60 team to fix the problem. It's like, no, you need to stop and figure that out. And who's not using AI? And
That's so interesting, because it's like, are you at the stage where you're physically seeing the teams you work in reduce in size?
no,
Because-
it's the business is getting bigger. And you
Okay.
have to, I haven't seen, well, in specific cases I've had recently actually known, so teams aren't getting smaller, but the business is doing better, because
Okay.
that is what happens if you're doing well and you've got a good product and you're in a growth market. And then there's a chance to expand, but you can expand in different ways, and that's where AI can
it's
come in
coming
and
in.
support and talk. But like things like localization and translation, it's okay like for a one-off or a little LinkedIn post. I sometimes do mine in German because German market's one of my big German
Oh wow.
one
Okay.
of my markets, but I don't speak German. I just use AI and then get one of my German team to check it.
Oh, okay.
But for like white papers or long form, we did a Swedish website recently. It was just abysmal. It was just awful. It even wrote, one of the titles it wrote was, make sure your customers don't fart, but in Swedish.
Wow.
And that was a direct translation of what we'd written, but it obviously isn't appropriate. So we had an agency were like, oh, well, we don't speak Swedish, but we did it with AI. And then our team were like, absolutely not. And then how do we maintain that? So we have to have a localization person.
Oh,
a
wow.
human
An
involved,
agency
yeah.
gave you that.
Yes.
There will become a time, we talked about this as well, that the need for human verification and curation on anything that AI
Yeah.
produces. We had a conversation in the last session, but I feel there will
Yeah.
come a time where AI is able to kind of understand nuances of language, to
Yes,
be able to speak in
yeah.
colloquialism and stuff like
Well,
that. I do
hopefully.
think so. That's where I think it comes into its own.
Yeah.
It would be like from that mistake it had, if you fed it back to say just like you actually say like this
but you'd
is
have
not
to be Swedish to
yeah,
know
and
to
then
do that,
translate
right?
it back like properly and say this is not relevant in Swedish.
Yeah.
Like I
But
think
you
that's
still
how
are still
it
a
should.
human person,
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
you can't be automatic.
Yeah.
I think there's a reliance on
Yeah.
the human factor. So the question I was just touching on that was like one of the questions I wanted to ask, like with your audiences with your company, what do you guys look at in terms of channels, or how do you reach your customers in the best way?
Well, that's really interesting because I'm Northern Europe, so we've got totally different segments. So we've got like, and everyone will know immediately what I'm talking about. So you've got Best Western, where you've got a big head office, maybe in the US, and then they've got groups, and then they've got the hotels that make the decision, but they're all online. So we can do targeted ads, we can do some email, we can do webinars, we can do things like that, as well as showing up at events and being where they are. But then you've got indie hotels or independents, And in some regions, Darky being one of them, like I said, they just don't have their phones. They're a bit old school. They don't have that. So the new channel that I am not used to in tech, because it's still tech, is driving around and going to a hotel in person and rocking up and having a presence, and then figuring out, once you rock up and talk to them, okay, what are you reading? Where are you going? What are you doing? Oh, you're not doing anything apart from talking to your neighbour. What does your neighbour do? Where does he get his information? And kind of figuring out. And actually, Facebook, for some of them, is the only channel that might work digitally.
Wow.
Because that might be the only one that they use. Yeah, with their family. But then, do you want to interrupt that time? Depends what you're saying.
So this is very interesting because, like, have you seen a shift on, like, the hospitality sector? I think what you just said is, like, you should be matching hospitality with being there, you know what I mean? Like,
yes.
It's a marriage of
exactly.
So
have
you seen any trend changing? Do you see anything like, not disrupting is not the right word, because I can't see anything like, you know, moving that away. Have you seen anything like new, or someone else has said like, maybe I'll just be there for like virtually and do a webinar on site? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, is there something new you've seen?
So something I'm noticing is that some of the paid media, so some of the media that spend time figuring out how to get in front of those people, they're a better channel for us.
Okay.
To getting in front of the audience. So if we've got like a really good white paper or campaign, rather than doing a big, I say that, but it's kind of 50-50. So maybe doing a big digital ad spread would work in general, like figure out some sites and things, do some affiliate marketing, but the paid media as the affiliate on that for us, and getting them to understand what we're trying to achieve, and then figuring out a plan with them and paying them to send it out or do it, seems to be working really better. Yeah, because you've got like Hotel Magazine that they send it to all the hotel subscribers and things like that, and we put in ads. QR codes are an interesting one. I'm experimenting right now with putting mini URLs because no one's doing our QR codes. So I'm like, okay, even though hotels are the one place where people understand QR codes. Yeah. But then is that because just that's a bit I need to figure out what's going on there.
I'm sorry, man. I'm like,
no, go ahead.
Can I ask
UTM tracking?
Yeah. Can I ask like what is the, so just to break down, like, as head of field marketing in Northern Europe, can you map out your, like, a process, not the process is the wrong word, like your ideal customer journey? Like, if you were to acquire someone as a customer, what do you start with, and how does that progress as you, like you just said, paid media, like, what would your ideal scenario look like?
For the customer once they've joined, or for a prospect?
If you're prospect, if you're trying to get someone,
If we're trying to get someone, so I have, it's actually very simple. It's kind of like 3 layers, and it's owning more of the funnel in field. It's not, a digital is kind of like the end part of the funnel. Okay. So the first bit is they recognise you or see you somewhere. So maybe they pass you
like
at
a trade show or something.
So trade show, expos, they see you, and hopefully we can capture some details. And then the next one is like a connection with the fact that you can be a partner and enable them in their role in some way. So it could be like a dinner where you're inviting them with peers that are the same as them.
You're adding value with the sense of networking.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, but you're not selling them the product. You're just saying, hey, Muse is here. Come and meet other revenue managers, for example. Hey, we know you're all scared about AI, but how are people using AI to, prevent Booking.com outbidding you on your rooms and da-da-da.
Adding clear value to their, like, day-to-day, basically.
Yes, yeah. So that's like layer 2. And you need a hook to get them into that layer 2. So it needs to be a good experience or something that is in it for them. And different regions are different. So breakfast work in some regions, midday works in some regions, if it's a face-to-face thing. If it's an online thing, it's not quite as high value. You might need 1 or 2 things online in that mid bit. And then they sort of get curious, and then you've probably got BD reaching out at that point.
I see.
Do you want to book a demo? And they're probably seeing more targeted ads because we've got them in HubSpot now. So they're starting to see some adverts. And then hopefully they book a demo, and that's kind of like the end point. And then once they've booked a demo, we kind of keep on top of all of those experiences and moments of truth they have. That time frame from like trade show to the second stage, you said. Yeah.
Would that be literally you know what I mean? When you go to events, sometimes you'll be like, some company would be like, oh, we're hosting like cocktails the next day. Would that be a
Could be,
quick
yeah.
turnaround, or would it be like a...
Yeah, so my plan, I've got the American version of me came out with this lovely spreadsheet. I actually don't mind it. I like a spreadsheet sometimes.
enough.
Where she had integrated marketing. So it's like all the trade shows we're doing, all the awards, and then like all the face-to-face stuff. So we've basically got it mapped visually, so you can see what's happening. So then we have bill of materials for an event where you say, okay, we've got a big trade show, independent hotel show. They do it in most regions.
Yeah.
We've got a big one at Olympia. 2 weeks after that, let's plan to have a workshop or a something. And then at that event, we would have information about it. And then the follow-up for contacts at that event is an invite to the next thing. And you just keep it going, though. So then, okay, they've come to that workshop. What's the next thing in the funnel? What does that look like? Okay. When are BD reaching out? Can we hold them back? Because if we keep them in HubSpot, then we don't. Then BD can't reach out. But then... Okay. Do we need to push a few more MQLs this quarter? So let's do something else. And one channel I haven't mentioned, which is huge in our space, is drops or like swag. And
I was gonna ask you about this because I think in in the event space, I've worked in events before. And it's one of those things where there's always like a notepad or there's always like a pen or something. But we've discovered
I love the notepad. I'm not gonna...
No, you love a notepad. Look, I know you love a notepad. But nowadays it's like the thing is changing. We were looking at some campaigns where it's like hotels and people in the hospitality industry getting more into actually having merchandise like clothing that doesn't look like I have Hilton on the front of my chest. It's like it actually is a piece. It's got
quiet luxury is what the trend is.
Yeah, quiet luxury.
Yeah, so it's like they'll get like a bathrobe from the Four Seasons. You see what I mean? And I'll keep it at home, but I've paid 80 quid for this thing.
Oh, my head just pinged 10 things. Then I'll carry on.
Yeah. So within the industry, how does it? Is there still does that still work? Does swag and all of that still have pull? That's kind of like something so I'd really love to understand. You
need to know your audience 100%. So with TradeShift, we had an audience that were generally middle-aged, slightly older because of finance and procurement and just the level of the role they were at. They mostly had kids, majority. So we did stuff like little teddy bears with TradeShift t-shirt on because we knew they would give them to the kid.
Sure.
And then they would stick around and it was like the brand recognition. And swag enables salience. That is the connection for me, where someone is at a point of thinking about, I might need to switch my system, or I'm not happy with this, and they remember a brand or a logo, or I'm really thirsty, I want something refreshing, I think about Coca-Cola. That salience piece is really important in marketing. Yep. So I feel like swag contributes to that, and also in the scheme of things it's actually very inexpensive, but what I do think people need to be wary of is just like wasteful swag, just like merch that isn't going to be useful or isn't. And lots of people do edible stuff now. We do Tony's Chocolonely, wrap stuff, and do clever things, clever puns on stuff, but that's also quite common.
What's the worst piece of swag that you think that you should not?
I mean,
I think stress balls for me are stupid.
Yes, and
don't hate on stress balls. Some people, and if you get the exercises that come with the stress ball, they're actually some people swear by them.
But you know what? You would take that to another level. is those massage, those pressure point balls. I'm at the age now I need that. Now if I see that for free, I'm like, yes, but I don't need a stress ball. You see what I mean?
Know your audience, yeah. Maybe if it's mental health conference, have a stress ball.
True.
Stress balls everywhere, something, yeah.
Sorry, what was your...
Diabetes event, actually, in the Olympia, there's 2 Olympias, and they were in the event next door, and some of the people from diabetes walking around were like, don't give them the Tony's.
Oh, wow.
So you just got to know your audience,
Yeah, Tony's,
but, that stuff is important, but what I mean by a drop is, we post stuff to them. That's an experience when they receive it.
Okay.
So we have an amazing creative team, and we even have production people that will make sure that this is a moment of a moment of truth for the person who receives it. And it can have a call to action. It's like a webinar or an invite to an event, or we're coming around with our bus in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Make sure you booked your slot.
Get on the bus.
And we'll bring your team some donuts or whatever it is.
That's cool.
But we do physical things, which we're kind of trying to figure out how we do it sustainably and how it works. But But they're really successful and they work
Wow.
really well and they connect, especially with the SMB audience.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
and people
it's-
like
it's
the stuff.
continuing.
If you're fun with it,
It's
Do you
continuing
remember
on.
there was like that weird phase after COVID where everyone's like, I don't want gifts because there was like the whole germ thing.
Germ thing.
I feel
Yeah.
that's kind of like everyone's
now,
done
yeah.
that.
But to be fair, it's always been a thing where like I remember I heard of a campaign where there was a car manufacturer. I'm just going to say Volkswagen for just want of a better thing, and they sent around.
You
to,
love
like, the
cars, right?
people. No, I hate cars. I don't give a damn about cars, but like they sent car keys to people, and they had people like show up. They basically a car key, and it's like if you want to test drive the car, you've got to test drive.
Wow.
And so they could go and
I
test
love
drive the
that.
car
That's
in a
cool.
box,
See?
if
That's
that makes sense.
smart.
So directly, and so I guess it can work
Yeah.
because it makes you feel special. It's personal. They've kind of come to find you. But the thing about that is, it's a whole nother level of complexity trying to get the addresses and get the right addresses and the way to.
Yeah.
Obviously, you've got hotels, but making
it's
sure
easier with hotels.
they don't go to the wrong people in the hotels. You know, how do you?
Yeah, one of our team
the
accidentally put
data.
her phone number as well as the contact number for all of these drops we had out London.
Oh,
out
seriously?
Crosstown Donuts. And rang her 1 million times, yeah.
Seriously, wow.
Halloween drop that was.
Crosstown Donuts, I've heard of them.
Yeah,
They
they
have
do good
vegan
drops.
donuts or something like that.
They do all sorts.
They
Yeah,
were
you can
delicious.
personalise them. Yeah,
Yeah.
same as like biscuiteers and things like that. There's little fun things you can do.
Yeah.
Make you feel special though. That's what you touched on.
No, but it is true.
The
It-
emotional connection.
It does. It does make you feel special. I mean, I think, thinking of it from a data perspective, trying to get addresses in this day and age. But you're right. It does have that with the hotel industry. It's going
You've
to
got
be
to give them a
easier.
reason to give you their address. So using something like Reach Desk,
Yeah.
that does that for you because
Okay.
Reach Desk is email first.
Okay.
And then they have to give their details. They see the gift they're getting. They can sometimes you can say if you swap it or not,
Yeah.
and then they give the details direct to Reach Desk.
Yeah. So that
Yeah.
makes sense. That's a good way to get it across. But then,
Yeah.
how does the company work in terms of that's all good from the field perspective and
Yeah.
being out there.
Yes.
But
Out there.
as you're saying, with the salience of your brand, there still needs to be a recall that happens. You know, if I come and I get a Muse pen for the first time, it doesn't mean that, you know, when I'm looking for a new provider, I'm going to think, oh, well, I'm writing this note and this says
Yeah.
Muse on it. It's like, how does your business inspire that recall outside of the people who are going to be at these events, who might be members of a hotel that might clamour for people internally to start taking a look at you? How do you get them to know of you, and what do you do?
Yeah. We've got some strong personalities in the business.
Okay.
I think that does help. Having exec that are prepared to talk and be out there.
Yeah.
And also our exec are hotel owners as well.
Okay.
So they kind of understand and they get it.
They
yeah.
know the business
That's where it
as well.
came from, right? The founder had a hotel and he was like, we can do this better.
Okay. That makes sense.
But they are out there like making videos and very visible. And I think that's a personal connection piece that can connect people back to Muse. I think it's just, a combination of everything. I do
course.
think BD and sales have a huge part to play with that because someone at their com kickoff said they have like the 154 strategy. So they have one account, they find 5 contacts, they find 4 ways to reach out to each contact.
Yeah.
And then if nothing happens, then it's obviously not the right time and they move on. But that kind of outreach and being proactive with individuals is always going to be necessary.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah.
So-
No, I was-
I'm a fan of sales.
No,
That's
to,
what
to
I
be
like
fair,
myself.
sales are good.
I'm learning so much right now, because I've got a trade show in like 2.5 weeks. I'm like, what can I do to
Oh,
get the
tell
best?
me. Yeah.
I need
But
something.
also you need, like, trade shows, the number one thing for a trade show is making sure you're capturing the details of who you're talking to. And it could be a WhatsApp group where
Yeah.
everyone takes a picture badge and puts the details in. Like, that's how I used to do it. Now I do, like, a lead form and a thing, or it could be a scanner, But then the scanner, Like, is everyone scanning them?
Yeah,
Maybe they've
there's
put a
there's one
Gmail
thing
on,
I
especially
saw
at
this.
Expo, yeah.
So there's one thing I like. The last time I went there was just like there was groups of people just walking around. They don't care who you are. Even they were scanning exhibitors. They're like, yeah, I'm taking your details, taking
Oh
your
yeah,
details. I'm
because
just like,
they've got a league table.
you're not like even bothering to like find out who I am. I have nothing to do with your product. I'm exhibiting here, and you've taken my details.
Yeah, but the marketing person's told them whoever gets the most scans
Must
gets
be-
a bottle of
yeah.
champagne.
That's the crap. I'm sorry about
That's-
marketers,
yeah.
that the pressure they're put under to have to justify the spend of an
Mm.
event by getting people in, but then those people, you get a 2% conversion rate
But
of anyone to
Yeah.
even the next
It's what
day.
you said, right? It's like, oh, I'm going to pay X amount to go to this exhibition. when you come back, the marketer's like, oh, we got 2,000 leads. Yeah, and the guy or woman who signed off on that say, yeah, cool, that's great. We've got the ROI. We've got 2,000 leads on there. Done. Go away.
It doesn't make sense. To me, it doesn't make sense. And I guess this raises another question that I wanted to ask: is that
that shocked me though, by the way.
What's that?
That has never happened in my life.
That 2,000
that I just get a lead list. You get a list, but then you like reduce it to who's your ICP, and that's the people that are the numbers that you count.
I've seen like my experience has been like you come back after spending X amount and you just show them the table and it's like, yeah, this is how many leads we got, and they're like, cool, this is what you do, and then they're hoping that this is what comes back to how we started what we're trying to do.
What the value is.
This is what I'm trying to say.
It's like,
that was going to be the question. Is that because it depends? From my experience, it depends on the people who are managing marketing. Yeah. So okay, the CMO and then the leaders outside the CMO, especially when we're talking about small medium businesses, understanding what marketing, how marketing works and what marketing metrics are going to be valuable. So bringing leads back, there's a big clamour in a lot of marketing teams to bring leads because it feels like more people you speak to, that's a thing.
KPI, yeah.
But then what about the conversion rate of those leads in terms of the stage of their journey? Or what about, as you said, the relevance and the if they were part of your ICP or the people who you wanted to speak to, or part of accounts that you wanted to speak to, or so on and so forth. It's like, are your leaders au fait with marketing metrics, terminology, and what you guys would measure to track your success as they need to be, so that you're not just reliant on the things they know, which is leads or money that's come in. Do you get what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I mean, I'm not trying to put you on the spot because I know you just started, but
No, the difficulty is the age-old story of like attribution and contribution and how do you measure it. That's still an issue. I just went back to my head being like, well, I don't really care what they think because I'm just going to do what's best for my regions. Yeah. Like in my brain, that's because I'm the CEO of my own life, and I want to make sure that my region's a success. And also I build relationships with the sales guys who help me make sure that works by doing stuff in the whole funnel, not just top of the funnel.
Of course.
Yeah, but I am only tracked on the top of the funnel at the moment. Yeah, but I've got very close collaboration, and we're working even more with digital because I see that as part of the journey. Yeah. And when I see someone that's been on a journey and they've requested a demo and someone's not followed up, I'm like,
yeah, that's fair enough.
Follow that up. But then digital report back that 80% of they reported that Common Kickoff this week that 80% of the closed deals were from digital marketing. It's like, well, yes, because that's the end point. Yeah. Or of course,
I mean,
that's just taking the trophy and saying, yeah, look, this is where I got it from.
Yeah, which is,
it's
for
unfair.
me, it's like,
it's unfair.
How is everyone working? And because I'm regional, how's everyone working in the region together? What's working, what's not? And you can really see, and salespeople often say, oh, it's not working here because of product market fit. Well, no, not really. It's because of things haven't been followed up on, or things aren't in the process like they are in other regions where they're hungry for it.
It's a difficult one.
It's a tricky one
because it's like mixing all of those. Ultimately, leaders, from my experience, not in my current role, but in my experience, pit arms of marketing against each other, and sales against marketing, where you have unique goals. And so then you get the digital team saying, even though there's been 10 events and 20 of those people went to the event, okay, that's why the importance of tracking and getting those details at the event to be able to quantify are important. But it might be that they went to an event and they didn't speak to you, or they didn't sign up, but they're at home and they're, was that company that I saw at this event, and Muse, and they go to the website, and then that's a lead. But digital marketing will say, that person did something. And you can see
it. You can see it. We do a Keep Hotel, which is a huge event in France, and they do it every 2 years because it's so big. But like Glastonbury, they can't manage to do it every year. Yeah. And you could see, we actually got about 100 opportunities from the event, which is amazing. And then off the back of that, you could see the digital uptick that was happening and the influence that was going on. Yeah. So we just show that when we're explaining how things are. Yeah.
I want to take some tactics on this trade show now. I want to see what I can do with this.
Yeah.
What is it, the 154 you said? What was it?
154. Oh, yeah. So 1 account, 5 contacts, 4 outreaches. Yeah. That was one of our German sales guys. Yeah. Who's top sales guy. That's what he does.
Well, there you go. That's why he's the top sales guy.
1 account,
5 connections.
Contacts.
4
4
outreaches.
outreaches.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you said if you don't get that,
So he then actually just sends it. He then switches with a BD. BD's not able to get outreach, so they kind of do some like swapping out. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
That's what they do. So it doesn't go cold. But then we do like nurtures and stuff as well that's going on. But can't rely on that.
nurtures, I love it because nobody does it.
Nurture.
Nobody
What,
does
nurtures?
it. Nobody does it.
What, a nurture afterwards?
Just like even when you said the second phase of your funnel, where you're like, okay, we're going to provide value. I think everyone just gets the leads in, and then we just sit on it, and you're like, oh yeah, now we just, hey, how's it going? Or let's send an email. It's like there's no added value. Everyone just skips that phase of
Yeah.
building that connection and getting value and understanding what their problems are. I think that's the issue. I think personally that's what we're missing in the industry in general.
B2B, definitely.
We don't want everyone doing it though.
True.
I want to win.
Giving away the gems.
But it's also the person, right? Like
Yeah.
you can
Yeah,
maybe
yeah,
not
yeah.
like the person that, or the outreach is bad or something, and you're like, well, I don't want to talk to them. Whereas if the way you've approached stuff, I think it just seems like
Yeah.
you know what you're doing. Like it's amazing.
Experience.
Well,
Thanks.
Final
don't know.
thing I'm going to ask is, you just mentioned sales a lot, and we didn't talk a lot about
Yeah.
that. I know we talked about the feedback loop and connecting with sales.
Yeah.
What advice could you give a marketer? Because sales and marketing have a long-standing
Oh yeah.
love-hate relationship.
They're very different personalities. Yeah.
And you said you love sales. The first
Yeah, I
thing you
love
said was
sales
you love
people.
sales. So
Yeah.
how would you encourage a marketer to build a relationship of love with their
sales.
sales team?
The most annoying salespeople that kind of get on your nerves and they're asking you questions are usually the best ones at selling. So just acknowledging that the ones that are pestering you for things and
Yep.
asking you questions are the ones that are making the sales. So just stay close to them because they may win.
That is a very true point.
And I think like trying not to be defensive. So sales and marketing automatically are like, ooh, like explore, understand what they mean, understand why they're talking about something.
Yeah.
Or marketing often gets slipped under, in smaller companies it gets slipped under sales at some point, but that's okay. You just gotta own your stuff and just deliver on what you say you're going to deliver.
Yeah.
Because if you say you're going to put on an event or do a thing and you need them to do the invites or stuff, get ahead of it. Like make sure you're ahead of it and on top of it. And to be honest, some of our team that are really high performers, they don't update the lead stuff very well and they don't do that. So we have to do quite a lot of manual checking and asking them. But if you've got a good relationship, then you can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also just be likable.
Yeah. That's a skill. I don't think I have that down just yet.
We're doing a thing right now where we've just acquired a company and we're trying to figure out what we do with the two brands because the other company has got a strong brand as well. And someone said, what do you want to do at this event? Do you want to create like Muse stuff for Muse people, Atomize stuff for Atomize people? I just wrote back, that's a philosophical question. I wrote back.
Wow.
And then I let them discuss it because I was like, well, it's like who eats who and how do we do that? It's a higher level thing than just what works at the event. It's not for me to...
Let's call it Atomuse.
Oh, no. We are the... Muse is the bigger fish,
Okay.
yeah. I do well.
I thought I did a thing
I like
there.
that.
failed at the first hurdle.
Atomuse! Oh, my God. I'm actually going to mention that. I wonder if someone has said that. Yeah. Maybe.
Put it together.
Now watch how it gets
Atomize
taken up as well.
Muse.
So we're going to be looking out for your event to see if the 154 rule
I'm
works.
gonna try it.
So what are you doing at it?
It's selling the course that I work at, or trying to sell a course, and essentially
Okay.
we have an issue with conversion. So
People say they're interested but then don't.
It's
What's
a
going on?
weird market, especially in education, where everyone's
Yeah.
like, I love the branding. The branding is literally no bullshit leadership, and everyone's like, I fucking love this.
Yeah.
This is incredible, because you go to these
Yeah, I saw
boring
that.
conferences and you just stand there and everyone's like, whoa, no bullshit. Like, yes,
Yeah.
I'm getting that. And then they come there and you get the leads and you're like, oh, great, yeah, I'll send you the thing tomorrow. Okay, great, I'll sign up like as soon as possible. And then they just disappear. And you're just like, what the fuck? I think people, this is a general marketing conversation where people engage with businesses that don't really have sign off, and then when it comes to the actual point
Yeah.
of thing, they're not got the purse strings.
Yeah,
which is what they
yeah.
discover.
And that's classic.
That's
So
simple.
you're figuring out who who actually will sign it off and
But
what
that,
are the
the annoying
blockers.
part about that was that they reached out to us.
Yeah,
You see what I
that
mean?
should have
Like
been a
you
thing.
don't like.
But you might get a few more of them, but then you'll get ones that aren't like that. I've got 10 people that will book, so you've just got to.
That was for me. That was like how much more. Like it's literally like if you're playing football, you're there, and the person's ready to kick the ball, and actually no, I'm alright. Bye.
That goes back to what people were saying, not to kind of go over stuff, because I know we've only got a few minutes left, but that buying group and understanding in your data who makes up the spectrum of people that you're selling to, and understanding you are more sticky when your whole opportunity doesn't rely on one person. Yeah. Because if that one person ducks out, that's it.
Yeah.
Whatever brand they were, find their competitor.
Yeah.
Say that they're doing it or they're interested and would you guys want to do it? Like there's a little bit of that you can play on as well. I used to do a thing where when we had an exec dinner before GDPR, although you can kind of do it, is I would have like a target list, like 10 people I want to attend this thing, and I would send an email to the 10 people saying these 9 people are coming, do you want to join them? And then they would go, oh, that's all the people I want to speak to. I'll come. And then they'd sign up. And then the next one I'd send the other 9 and da-da-da-da-da. And eventually you'd get maybe 6 of them. And I'd say these are the people that were hoping to come or something that wasn't like promising it. And then you'd end up with at least six of them. Yeah.
FOMO.
And then you do like and that's accountability, like FOMO, exactly.
Yeah.
And then the accountability bit is the days before running up to it. I also had interns, which was really helpful to keep like calling and, like in sandwich courses.
That's the main thing.
Yeah,
like,
keep calling them like, what's your dietary preferences, things like that, because then that's like a reason to connect. But then the day before, I'd write the list of people who are coming, like, oh, these are the other people who are going to be sat with. Does anyone particularly want to sit next to? Kind of curate it a little bit more.
It's more like you tailor their experience and kind of keep them top of mind. To be like, by the way, you're still coming. Because
if you're going for like that was when we were going for CFOs. If you're going for CFOs and you're like, you really gotta show that you're giving some value, and the value is they get to meet other CFOs.
Yeah, it's networking again.
I'm just thinking progressive profiling, but with humans. This is literally just what it is. What's your dietary requirements? Oh, what's your favourite sport?
What's on the menu?
Yeah,
what do you guys serve it?
If the brand is getting good, like use that. Like go and do speak on panels, pitch yourself to speak at things. I feel
the issue is the audience that comes to the events, because they are learning and development managers, and I don't think they have the purse strings.
Can you get them to experience the experience for free in those events? So like one of the leadership sessions, have it and have a name that is a name that everyone will want to listen to.
Yeah, so it's back to what you said about speaking, right? Like getting that. Like the author of the book did a couple of speaking gigs, and we got a lot of traction from that. But then again, it's the same thing of like he's involved in the course. It's like one single point of failure.
Yeah.
Because you're buying from him.
It's tricky.
I think that's been really good. Really good session. Thank you for joining us.
I like talking.
Thanks for being on the podcast. So much. Honestly, it's been so insightful to hear about.
Yeah, we didn't even get onto philosophy. That's next time.
Yeah, well.
That's Adi's bag right